Hey, hey, hey. I'm doing the live YouTube today from my laptop. So I can read and see a lot of things going on. So tickled to join us. And I'm also on my um, Tiki Taki. Hey, Tiki Taki. How you guys doing today? Good? Oh, we got quite a bit to cover today. Let's start with the smell. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. It's something about when you smell something pretty that just makes you feel so inside. Mm, 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 mm. Happy May. Believe this, we are in May already. Holy crap. Oops. Move stuff around. Eventually, I'm gonna have to bring in a camera person to like help me or organize some of this stuff because I'm working on content. You know, it's like to work on content to actually come up with interesting, stimulating content with all the things that's going on in the world and keep your sanity and have a family and have a business and all those in betweens. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, I stayed up a little late last night working on this report. I do have something I want to share with you guys today that's going to be available on my Candles by Aries site. As you know, I'm an astrologer, I'm a metaphysical, spiritual life coach. I've helped hundreds of people connect and maintain and create their manifestations, like literally learning to use the power of their mind. And I'm going to share a quick little story. This week has been very hectic because it's the end of the month, beginning of the month. It was taxes, the whole nine. And let me tell you something. God, let me tell you something about God. No matter what happened with me this week, I just kept going back to my prayers and I kept saying my affirmations over and over and over again, diligently, did not stop. Not only did Spirit open the doors for my greatest good to come through, it gave me more. My cup ran it over. You hear me? I got some new people coming in. I finished this report, which I'm going to talk about a little later on with Aries being in Mercury right now. Happy birthday to all my Tauruses. But you got to believe, guys, you got to get in there. So you need to like, follow, and subscribe. I'm just telling you now because necessity is the mother of invention. And we're going to need a lot of necessity with what's going to be coming up because now it's all about a mind game. And if somebody says something to you, do you believe it? Do you accept somebody else's truth as being your own? Or do you know how to do your own homework and research? It's a good question. Think about it. Hmm? Now, let's see where it's going on in the planets. So much to cover, so much to do. Now, I give this report to you guys once a week here on my YouTube and also on my TikTok and all that happy, wonderful stuff because I want to reach out to the world to create a positive vibrational flow of energy because we're going to need it. But I have classes, I have one on one sessions, I make aromatherapy products. These are all designed to keep you maintaining where you're going and where you're at. So I would suggest you take a look at my product line, you come to some of the classes because I'm giving you a lot of the information to get you started. But the more you know about yourself, the more you understand how you deal with pain, how you deal with trauma, how you deal with your core issues, the power that you have over yourself will blow your own mind. Now we're in Taurus right now. Okay, the sun's in Taurus. Tonight the moon's in Gemini, which is very, very interesting. I'll tell you something about that a little bit later on. But the sun's in Taurus, moon's in Gemini, Mercury's in Aries. Can you feel it? Can you feel the Mercury in Aries? It's a little. Venus is also in Aries. Mars is in Leo, so that's a lot of fire with a little earth sprinkled in there. Jupiter's in Gemini. Saturn's in Pisces. Uranus is in Neptune. Neptune is also in Aries. And then Pluto, rounding it up, is in Aquarius. Now, I know that sounds like a bunch of information, and how does that all play? Well, I'm going to break it down to try to give you the simplest formula that would affect you. Right now, we're in a major transition as people. I know we're always changing and growing, but Neptune has completed its full cycle. It takes about 165 years for that planet to go through every sign. And it's just starting again with Aries. So Neptune moved into Aries last month. We have Venus in Aries, Mercury in Aries, and Neptune in Aries. That's three major fire signs all happening at the same time. Now, what does that mean? Well, Aries is a self-starting, it's ego. It can also be pioneers. It can be selfish. Okay. And with Neptune, it's more dreams, spirituality, hopes, faith, that kind of thing. And with Venus, it's also about our love. And Mercury, of course, is how we think. So right now, you got to think about your necessities. I know here in the United States, they were talking about shortages and things coming up and, people not having and, you know, but if you believe in God, if you believe in a higher power, you will not only do well during this period, you will excel during this period. Why? Because your mindset's going to be on what is your divine plan, not on all the other muckety muck that's coming down the pipes. Because let me tell you something, illusion. There's going to be a lot of cult stuff because Neptune and Aries, people want to join up. They want to be a part of a group. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with connecting with your peers and being around people of like mind. Nothing at all. But if that like mind becomes restricted and you have limits placed on yourself that are not comfortable for you, then you need to evaluate that. Okay. But how I see it is we're going to be doing things that are necessary. And necessity is the mother of invention. That's the theme for today. Necessity. Necessity. You think you want something, get married, have kid, go to college, go to school, whatever order you want to do it. That's what we've been taught. Do all these things and these things will happen. Not necessarily. Okay. It's okay to have a plan. I think it's beautiful to have goals and aspirations. But the energy that's coming down now is also your divine design, meaning you may have a plan, you have an idea, but the universe is going to show you how that's going to pan out if it is in coordinates, if it's all going in the same direction. Now, what I find every day is I write a list out of things that I would like to have done, things that I would like to see manifest. And then I pray on how, when, where, and on and so forth, because you cannot govern anybody but yourself. Okay. And if you let the universe guide you, you probably will get more done than you ever imagined. Here's an example. I was at the grocery store a couple of days ago, and this lady's kind of following me. We're kind of going the same direction. You know how it goes. Anyway, we get to the spice rack L, where all the spices and flour and stuff is, because I'm really into making stuff right now. And I'm sharing that in my GAP program, the guided astrology program. I'm sharing recipes and things that you can make that are pretty easy, simple, and not that expensive. So anyway, I was looking for certain spices, and she was just, kind of following me. And I heard her going, nothing ever works. And I was like, what's going on? You know? And she told me she was looking for breadcrumbs. For whatever reasons, the store just did not have the type of breadcrumbs that she wanted. I didn't think they had any breadcrumbs. No, I think they were out. They were out. Anywho, so she immediately is just having a meltdown. She is frustrated. She is there's no there's no breadcrumbs, and I'm so mad. Hey Michelle, how you doing? And I sit there and I look at them and I look at her and I look at the stuff and I look at her and I go, do you know breadcrumbs is nothing but toasted bread with spices in it, right? And she looks at me and she goes, toasted bread? I'm like, yeah, you don't have to go crazy with the whole finding breadcrumbs in a box can. I don't know what she's looking for. All you gotta do is get some bread. Day old bread is always fine. Toast it up like you normally would, and toast it to the point where it's crispy and rub it together till it's the consistency you want. Add your herbs and spices, salt and pepper, whatever you want. Knock yourself out. Her mouth dropped to the ground. She says, why didn't I know this? Why didn't I ever think that breadcrumbs could be made simply from bread? I said, because we've been so conditioned to go out looking for stuff and spending money on things that we forget we don't have to make this hard. Ah, thanks, Michelle. Thanks. We don't have to make this hard. All we got to do is just go back to the basics. Necessity is the mother of invention. Aw, thank you, Michelle, for the gift. I appreciate you. Thank you, love. Necessity. Necessity, guys. Now, I've put together a report. It's absolutely free. It's at candlesbyari.com. And it's a report about where Mercury is right now. Mercury is in Aries. I love you too, baby. Thank you. So, since Mercury is in Aries, I'm going to be doing a report for every single sign as it comes up. So you can actually see what I'm saying and not just hear what I'm saying. Because I think it's always better to have a learning experience. At least that works for me. I see it, I hear it, and I feel it, and I do it. And I understand it because I'm seeing it in real time. And that's what you want. Oh, you're just spoiling me today, Michelle. You're just spoiling me. TikTok's giving me so much love. You guys can give me some hearts over here too, YouTube. I'm good with love. Hey, Miss Naima, thanks for joining us on the YouTube. So when you have to think about something, instead of going with the stress point, because that's kind of where your brain's going to go with the Mercury and Aries is, how's this not going to work? How's this going to work? Slow down. Take a couple of deep breaths. Relax a little bit. And then actually think about, what is my objective? What is it that I'm trying to allow? See how I said allow? For you to manifest what you're asking for. Now, that lady in the grocery store was not a bother to me. She was actually very sweet to me. And that's one of the reasons why I offered her some suggestions, because I could feel her frustration in not finding what she wanted. And I said, hey, listen, you don't have to make this hard. And I made the toast reference. How many of us need that toast reference? How many times do you think about something and you got it so twisted and you didn't overthink it, thunk it to the point where it's just so hard? You're still sitting in one spot. You haven't moved from your spot, but in your mind, you're done. You've done all you can do. You're stressed out, and you just, now this is when you need to calm down. Now we're in the Taurus cycle, and Taurus is very earthy. It's the only fixed earth sign we have in the whole zodiac sign. So, and it's ruled by Venus. So most of the time, Tauruses are more loving people. They do not like strife. Now they could be some control freak. Okay. There's been some, incidences where they don't like to give up their control. But for the most part, if they're in a loving situation, they're very benevolent and they go out of their way to help those that they love. To the point where I think it detrimental. They actually will give more than they should and end up being stressed out all the time. Okay. So since we are in this cycle right now, I'm going to make some suggestions. First of all, go to my website and get the free report from Mercury in Aries. Absolutely free. Read it. Also, while you're there, you may want to pick up the free affirmations that I've created as well. Yeah, because you also got to look at this, like what's coming out of your mouth. Okay, what are you saying out loud? Right? Miss Lopez on the YouTube is like, give me a thumbs up. Because you got to think before you speak now, because we have so many changes and they're being recorded. The most beautiful thing we have right now is our ability to communicate with one another. So when I look at these configurations going on, I'm thinking you need to bring people that are equal or better than you in your life, not to drive you down, but to raise you up. Oh, holy goodness, holy girl, thanks for joining. Nice. Blessings to you as well. But we need to bring in energy that's of like mind and balance that's going to help us move forward, not move backwards. So if you happen to run across some energy this weekend, because we are transitioning and we're full on Taurus, I read the signs of when we are at the end of a month that's ruled by another sign. That sign still has influence over that new sign coming in. And I've just observed people that are born at the end of another sign, they have a little different flavor, little different flavors. Because, I know my kitty cats and I know my piranhas. Okay. And sometimes when you're born with that other influence, it just gives you an extra little flavor. It's like a condiment. It's the same meat, but what you add to it makes it Chinese, Italian, Mediterranean. It's all in the spices. Well, it's the same thing in what we're saying and what we're doing. It's all in how we set it up, how our minds assimilate where we're trying to go. And of course, what we're praying for, and then what the universe is offering us. And that's the gap. That is the gap, which is why I created the guided astrology program. Now, this program is a weekly Zoom link that I send out with information about every single zodiac sign for that week, affirmations, some aromatherapy suggestions, and some recipes that I know work that can keep you feeling good on the inside and smile on the outside. Now, this program right now is intro priced at $9.99, regularly going to be $29.99 a month. That's less than $10 a week. And we are going to have open houses and seminars so that you guys can come in, actually get a chance to speak, meet, greet. And it goes hand in hand with information, right? Because the more information you have, the more powerful you are. Because when you make an informed decision, you're not afraid. Even if it's a mistake, even if it sucks, you're not afraid because it was your choice to make. It's when you're afraid all the time and you're I call it emotionally constipated. You ever been emotionally constipated? Okay, I know what you know what constipation is. That's when you're full of shit, right? But when you're emotionally constipated, you even have more doo-doo because it's intellectual, psychological, and mental. And then you sprinkle in that spiritual stuff on top. Baby, baby, baby. Emotional constipation city. All you can do is sit in your own poo-poo. Damn near literally. And not even realize you're doing it. You're not moving forward. You're not moving backwards. You're literally sitting, waiting for the plane to hit you or the stuff to go down instead of preparing and moving, making a choice. Do you know what the difference between a hero and a coward is? Do you? Hit it up in the chats if you do. If you know the difference between a hero and a coward, because there is a difference. There is a difference. It may not seem like it's a big difference, but it is. And it's one thing that a hero will do that a coward will never do. And that's what makes the next level so juicy. Because if you're doing your part and you're working on yourself, I promise you, this year will be one of your best years ever because you'll be marching in your own shoes. You will not be operating on, I'm afraid, I can't do it. You'll be operating on spirit, courage, and inspiration. Now, some people like to be in doo-doo land. It happens, family, friends, they're going through their process. And it's hard because sometimes when you are trying to be, not when you're holding your space in your light, because you want your alignment and joy to always be together. If you're doing something you're not, and it's not in joy, you got to ask yourself, then why am I doing it? Right? Because if you, like for me personally, I always interview doctors and anybody that's going to be touching my body, even chicks that do my eyebrows, okay? Hairdressers. I go through that process and actually get a chance to sit and speak with them to see their vibe because they may be educated about their subject. Anybody can go to school and learn something. But do you like your subject? Are you good at your subject? Do you care about becoming better and better in that subject? Now, I'm an expert in astrology, affirmations, aromatherapy. I'm a spiritual life coach. Now, I've helped hundreds of people connect with their higher power and create the world they want through my techniques, my coaching, and all the in between, my classes. Because sometimes you need that group effort. You need that inspiration to keep this mind from going all kinds of different directions. Some people don't have that. And the thing about astrology is it shows how the different positions and the planets and the signs, I'm not even going to the houses yet because that's more of advanced, will blow your mind. Yeah, cowards have little faith in God's strength or any strength. They operate on this. Cowards love to talk and they never shut up. And they always have something for you to do, don't they? Have you ever listened to a coward? You ever listen to a con artist? Because they talk a good game. They actually sometimes seem like they're making sense. They've convinced themselves that taking advantage of other people is totally normal. Mhm. And then they stir the pot by getting people a little roused up and confused. Do your own homework. Do your own research. If something looks like a duck, it smells like a duck, most likely it's a freaking duck. And don't let somebody tell you the emperor has clothes on. I don't know if y'all remember that story where the emperor, I don't know the details, it's been a while, but the emperor was a big deal and he decided he wanted to have fancy clothes. And some con artist came to town and gave him some BS story about how he had this invisible cloth on him and all these things. And then he decided to do a parade. Yeah, he did. He got so caught up in his own BS that he decided to walk through the village to show everybody his new clothes, which happened to be nothing at all. Man's walking around in his underwear. Okay. Or worse, because I don't know the story by heart. But the point that I remember from the story was there was a little child, probably under 8 years old. that stepped out from the crowd and said, the emperor has no clothes on. The emperor has no clothes on. And everybody just would stop because the child spoke the truth. I remember being that child when I was little, saying some things out loud that obviously the adults were not ready to hear. And hearing them denounce me and try to put me down, it's fine because I had my grandmother, who was my biggest supporter, explain to me that truth is subject depending on the person's interpretation and where their mindset is. If somebody is not ready to hear the truth, even if you bring them evidence, even if you sit there with everything proving, timelines, guidelines, the whole nine, if they're not ready to hear it, they ain't gonna hear it. They're simply not gonna hear it. Why? Because they don't want to hear it. And that is the truth. Now, energetically, it's tough hearing things we don't like. It is. Learning something about different personalities and or potentially figuring out that certain people or certain corporations aren't what they appear to be. It's difficult, but we are our brother's keepers. We are brothers keepers. So it's also our job to protect those who are less fortunate, innocent, elderly, just to maintain balance. Because one day we could be one of those. One day you could be elderly, and you already know you were a child at some point. And you always got to think how you want to be treated. That doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. Okay. No one said being a spiritual person requires you to take less than a regular person or someone that doesn't believe in anything. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that you have a power inside of you to create emotions and feelings even before it happens, to draw those things to yourself even stronger. Yeah. Because if you think something hard enough, and I've done it, I've seen it, it works. When you start manifesting on a regular basis, it is truly hard for you to continue to doubt spirit. It is. It is. Because you can see it. You have the validation. The universe is walking up to you, tapping you on the shoulder, say, hey, how you doing? How can I be of service to you? So when you're doing your prayers, and I include you guys in my prayers every night, and I hope that you're including me in yours. Because I need all the prayers and I accept all the prayers that are given, because being a light worker is not just something I do and take off. It's part of who I am. Just like that lady in the store needed to understand that breadcrumbs wasn't that hard, that you could actually do it yourself and it ain't gonna cost you that much money. Well, those are the kind of breadcrumbs that keep you from losing your mind. That night at the store, she was really stressed that she was not going to have those breadcrumbs for whatever it is that she needed to do. Well, I do that with astrology. I look at your chart. I pinpoint what you're saying. Because when you were born, the stars were in a certain alignment. You can look it up yourself. You don't have to follow me. It's called the natal chart, also known as a birth chart. And that chart tells me a lot of your hidden talents, possible secrets, and just things and energy that you brought down with you as you were coming through, you know, your mother and your father to be here. Now, you ever thought about how incredible that is? That it took two other beings to create you, and then you have all this knowledge and all this energy, and it's all from the universe. It gives you strength to do things you've never considered doing. It gives you energy when you think you're tired. Now, I know for a fact, as a good parent, and I know a lot of good parents, you will stay up all night to do whatever you got to do to take care of what you need to for your child. You will bend over backwards, work extra hours, do whatever it is to give that little person a chance to shine. Now, we could take that same energy, guys, and turn it to our little person inside of us. See, I do monthly meditation classes twice a month. It's all through Zoom. No one talks, just me. And I could see the little person inside of my clients. And we forget that we were little people at one time. Like, we want to act like we were always grown and we just knew it was happening. We're just so sharp. And no, baby, no. You came through the process and the universe blessed you to be where you are right now. And be of thanks for that. Don't take that for granted. You're here for a reason. Now, when I look at astrology, because it gives me a way to understand the flow of energy. It is not demonic. It is not against anybody's culture. It's just information. It's entertainment if you like. And if not, don't worry about it. Don't apply to you. Keep on moving. But the energy that astrology tempers us with. When I say temper, like right now we're in Taurus. Well, I have very, very strong feelings about Taurus energy because my grandma was a Taurus and she was the most solid person I ever had in my life. I mean, my mom and dad were good, but that love, that energy that I got from her, it cannot be replaced. It's a once in a lifetime type of situation. And for me, watching her run her business and take care of her family, and she owned her own house. I mean, I admired that. I thought, wow. And the most beautiful part is that my grandmother was happy. Like she was a founding member of a church. Her name is still on it at the door. And she worked with the community and she enjoyed working with the community. And I asked her once, I said, how do you do all this? How do you keep balance with kids and then me coming? You know, I'm a grandkid and I'm still trying to pull on you. And then you have clients that need your services. And then you go to church and actually volunteer there too. I'm like, how do you do it? And it's just because of my faith in God. He gives me the strength when there is no way. He shows me things when I don't even see them myself. And I never forgot that because you do have to have that faith. And you do have to have that patience. But more importantly, you need to watch what's coming out of your mouth. Because if the universe is trying to bless you and you keep poo pooing stuff and saying negative things and just being an ass about things, that's what you're going to create. And I don't care where you are. You can have a positive thought for yourself right now. You got up this morning and nothing's wrong with you. You have a roof over your head. God bless you, have food in your belly. These are basic necessities. And if you start stressing about other things in your life, go back to those basics. What am I grateful for? What do I show gratitude for? Now, another side effect with Neptune being in Aries and all this other Aries is that you have to look at your necessities. What is your goal? What is your goal? What are you trying to create? Are you trying to create people to like you? Are you trying to create a form of income? Where are you going? Because you need to know that so that you can plan ahead and be in the flow. Does that make sense? You just don't go in the grocery store and start picking anything and everything, right? You have to have a list or at least a target of where you want to go. And if you have an unlimited budget, good for you. But the stores may not carry everything you want. So for me, I have to go to 2 or 3 different stores. Okay. So that's why I do my meditations. That's why I sit down and do my affirmations. That's why I look at the astrology. And then, of course, I see what the room temperature is. Like, read the room. Okay. If people are acting up and acting silly, pay attention to that because it could affect you. And when in doubt, just hush. When you know you're going to say something that you're not ready to really delve into, I mean, I'm saying kicking up some boo boo, then be quiet, go take a break, go to the bathroom, breathe. Now, if you're ready to move forward and you're good and you're ready to do battle, because this Aries energy is more of a like, let's go, then by all means, do what you think is right. But I asked you to stop and think. Just stop and think. What am I affirming for? And not be so reactionary. Take a few seconds, few moments to just think through what's happening before you so quickly think that's going to be the truth, because your truth is not everybody else's truth. All right. And that's not a negative thing. Maybe you were reared differently. Maybe you have a different set of principles. But if something's not aligning with your balance and your joy, and you're having all this anxiety and fear, and just every time you're dealing with it, that's a sign, guys, that something's disturbing you. And you need to acknowledge that. I think one of the reasons why people get ulcers and ailments in the body, dis-ease. It's you're not at ease. So it has to come out somewhere. And I think trauma, oh, trauma, it's a bastard because it stays kind of in your core, not even kind of, it stays in your core. So when you receive a trauma, especially at a young age, it's almost like an imprint. It is an imprint. I don't know why I'm saying almost. Now you can overcome it, but it's like a condition, right? So when I look at someone's chart, I look at their Mercury, I look at their Venus, I look at their Mars. I can always do the sun and the moon. That's easy. You can look that up anytime. And then I look at how the houses fell. And baby, 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 that tells me your flavor. tells me how you like it. For example, Mercury being Aries, it's an action sign. It wants to see it. It wants to make it happen. It's not interested in just sitting on the sidelines. When they think something, Mercury and Aries will go put that into they will put that into effect immediately and get bored if you don't do it. So definitely go to my website and get that free report. We just uploaded last night. We're actually getting better and better on the uploads, guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna give my gift to you. That's this gift of this report is probably like $75. I'm gonna give it to you for free because I want you to start understanding my foundation of how I operate. So when you guys come in for your one-on-one sessions or come into the meditation classes and you want to start creating what you're asking for, you know where I'm coming from. Now that's why I created the products that I did because each one of those products has an affirmation on that. Speaking of products, since we're in the month of May, we got two Mother's Days. We have the Hispanic Mother's Day and then just traditional Mother's Day here in the United States. So we're going to celebrate this month with pink. This is kind of a rose quartz pink, and it's got sweet pea in it, which because I think love should be sweet and light. Love shouldn't ever be hard and harsh and mean. I mean, when you make love to someone, you want to be in a good place, right? I mean, you don't want to be violated. You don't want to violate them, right? Everybody should be good. And I think loving someone requires you to be, sweet, mellow, loving, attractive, not a beast, unless that's your thing. To each his own. But in general, we want loving energy. We want positive energy. So this month, in the candle class combo, we're going to be doing pink, hot pink. It's a quote. It's a quote, a rose quartz pink, and it's got the, like I said, the sweet pea, but it's my blend. I step on it, make sure it's good. All right, and of course the affirmation is on it. Now this is on sale as a feature candle. This is 12 ounce, but I think the 16 ounces on sale for $29.99, which is that's your favorite color. Then you're gonna like this, holy girl. Okay, go to candlesbyari.com and grab yourself one because we only make them when you order. Because this is all soy based, and soys are different. It's softer, so it doesn't take a lot of heat. And I personally find it just to be a more cleaner burning candle. I mean, to each his own. Paraffin, I never really. I mean, kind of started making me sick to my stomach. It's also the sledge between gasolines, between leaded, unleaded. That didn't help my tummy, so I had to switch to soy. So definitely candlesbyari.com. The pink rose candle is the featured candle. And for the candle and classes, you get 2 8-ounce plus a pass to the meditation class that's recorded. We actually record it through Zoom. So even if you cannot make it to that particular class, oh yeah, just hit me up and I'll send you the the Zoom link and you can do it at your leisure. See, we're trying to create those positive pockets for you to go to stay connected. Okay? Because this whole thing that's going to be going down for the rest of this year, especially with Neptune being in Aries, is about how well you play the game in your mind. How much faith do you have in your own ability? Like you praying and praying, that's beautiful, but do you have faith that spirit hears you? Do you see the signs that indicate that things are getting better? Or do you always see the dark side? It's a very good question because sometimes you don't know you're looking at the dark side. Sometimes you're so accustomed to being in a certain mental position. I remember I worked for a computer company for a couple of years. I decided to go, straight, didn't have anything to do with metaphysics. I'm just going to get a job and go into the workforce. It was the most difficult year of my life. I'll tell you another story about that at the time, but basically, I didn't really fit. I didn't really fit. And I tried to fit because, it was a good job. It was 40 hours a week. They offered me overtime. I was a supervisor, all that stuff. But deep down in my heart, I knew I was not on my course. I was working with people, but not in the capacity that I should have been working with people. So I just started praying. I just started asking Spirit to show me, to tell me, give me some guidance. And it did. A lot of doors started opening up. It was revealed that one of my coworkers who I trained was making way more money than me. Mm-hmm. You drink your water today? You guys drink your water? 64 ounces in a 24-hour window. Promise you, keep your nervous system straight. Anyway, As I prayed harder to be released from the position because it just, it wasn't working, things started becoming revealed to help me move through it. Like my coworker who I trained making more money than me, and my boss taking advantage of my work ethics to take credit for a lot of my work. Now, I didn't get mad, I gave thanks, and I slowed my ass down. Me. I took ownership of me. I was doing my job, but I was going way beyond and beyond. And at first, I didn't mind. But I'm going to tell you something. Hearing that somebody else that I trained made more money than me chapped my ass. I am not going to lie to you. It was one of those deal breakers for me because I felt like, how's that fair? And I confronted my boss. I did. And he basically told me, well, I was a pretty girl and I could probably get married. Now, I probably lasted about 3 months after that because I just did not have the same productivity that they were used to, because I wasn't going to continue to work for someone who did not appreciate me. See, I'm not that misunderstanding of, oh, I didn't mean it. If somebody's saying something to you and their actions are not supporting you, their actions are who they are and what they really believe. Yeah. So all you have to do is just slow down, listen, and watch. And if the person is doing what they're saying they're doing and they're behaving like they're supposed to be behaving, because that's what they say they're going to do, then it should be no problem. But if somebody's telling you one thing and doing something else, then you got to own that that's not what we agreed upon. Right? That's not how we play this game. And that's why finding that spiritual balance is so important, you guys, on a day-to-day basis, because this stuff could trigger your core issues. Stuff, that trauma that you haven't gotten past. And you got to own your trauma. You have to own your issues. Just talking about it is liberating. Just acknowledging that something was wrong. And that's where the healing begins. But it takes a great deal of courage and support to be able to get in there and get to the point where you can almost laugh at yourself a little bit, because that's the way that you are and that's how you're going to deal with things. Like, I personally am not into pain. Personally, I don't dig it. I don't feel the need. I have to be in it. But don't get me wrong. I can do it if I have to. I do have a tolerance. But on a regular basis, I would prefer to keep things easy, smooth, and nice. Because I do know what pain is. I feel it a lot of times from people that don't even think they're in pain. But I can still feel it. So necessity is going to be the theme for the rest of this year. And that's going to create the mother of inventions for everyone. And I use the breadcrumb story because sometimes that the simplest answer, you just can't see it. It's just like, that's too easy. That's too simple. Why would I do that? I'm not working hard. I'm not losing my mind. And it's like, you don't have to. See, the universe also wants us to be happy, and he also wants us to enjoy the quality of our lives. So you don't have to be in a punishing situation. You don't have to treat somebody else bad to feel good. So you have free will. So get away from the situation that's not working for you anymore. And you can start by getting away with it, getting away from it in your mind. Yeah. Because if your mind's not correct, it's going to be pretty hard for anything else to be correct. And I've seen it. I've seen it where if someone mentally is not ready to accept their good, they find a way to sabotage it. And you've seen it too. I know you've seen it. You think someone's blessed and they have all these wonderful things, and they're on drugs, cheating on their spouses, doing all kinds of ludicrous things for no reason. And just because you're wealthy does not mean you do not have to serve spirit. I think wealth is fine and great. And if you can manage it, good for you. But that doesn't give you permission to treat other people's like they ain't diddly or squat. That's not cool, you guys. It's not. And I've been around some super rich people that you would never know. And I've been around some people that think they're rich and they make sure everybody knows. And I always look at them like, you live in an apartment, you drive a BMW. I know millionaires who drive jalopies. I'm talking cars for 15, 20 years, and they live in mansions. Why? Because they don't put money into their cars. They put money into their families. They put money into their estates. And that's a trained thing. And I think here in the United States, we're so used to consumption that we think we always got to have and always got to have, but actually you don't. If you slow down a little bit and start checking in and what am I really trying to do here? Like I haven't been shopping at a certain store. I've been saving money like because I was impulse shopping when I went in there. So I decided not to go there. And guess what? I can see the money in my bank account. So you got to decide, how do I want to handle this? And is this going to be my blessing or is this going to be my curse? It's up to you. So candles, astrology, aromatherapy, affirmations, all of these things help put things together. And I've created programs to help self soothe you and connect you with your higher power so that you can keep moving in that direction, which is the goal, isn't it? To be happy. But you got to decide, do you want to be happy? Oh, you're in London. Holy girl, global. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, there are a lot of negative things that's coming out, and people do a lot of. Please make sure you get my report. It's free on my website, and grab the affirmation report while you're there too, holy girl, because we need so much love. Oh, listening in your bedtime, I'm so flattered. Thank you, because it's like two something here in the United States. This is what I'm talking about, the power of connection, guys, all around the world. All right. And I'm going to keep you in my prayers, Holy Girl Global. Okay. I'm going to keep you in because you are special. What sign are you? Put it in the chat. And I'll see if I can pull something up before I end because we're coming to an end too. That's the other thing. I can only do so many things at one time, and then I got to stop and switch gears and talk to my individual clients and work on reports. And it's the beginning of the month. So we have the new candles coming out. This is the pink rose quartz candle. We do have meditation class. Now, we are going to adjust the meditation schedule. I think for sure we're going to do one on the 18th because we do have Cinco de Mayo, and then we have Mother's Day. And I know those days are always on Sundays or close about. So I am going to keep that note in the back of my head. So please keep that in mind. I may just make a meditation and send that out as a recording to my Zoom. So you won't miss it. I will get it done. It's just, how and when, but it will happen for sure. So let's make a pact. Let's make an agreement to look in the mirror and say something positive to ourselves. Okay? Let's make a pact to not let simple people with their simple issues and negative people with their negative comments have permission to entertain our psyche. Let's bless them and send them away to their native nothingness and always ask spirit to show you what's the best course. And when in doubt, guys, just hush, take a deep breath, tune in a little bit. There's always something that's going to direct you, but you got to take a few moments. And I'm talking like a minute. We ain't talking like 5 years. We're talking take a deep breath, take a step back, and then think about, what am I doing? What is my objective here? And then proceed. And if you still feel the need to whip somebody's ass, that's what you want to do. If you feel the need to walk away, that's what you need to do. Whatever it is, let it be from your authentic self, not from trauma, anger, or hostility, because those things always come back. I'm not saying they're not good emotions, because they do have a place. But once you learn to harness your own good and using your affirmations and using your aromatherapy, and I'll give you tidbits on the astrology world. Like I'm telling you, we got a lot of Aries coming down. So it is about you keeping your head together right now. We're in Taurus, which love my Taurus. But Taurus is more grounded. Now on the 10th, Mercury will be moving into Taurus, and I'm going to be doing a report on that. I actually think that's a good position. It's a little thicker for Mercury, but it does have that Venus aspect, so it makes us a little bit more loving, a lot more practical, maybe not so impulsive. Got to watch a little control freak stuff because, it's a fixed sign, and fixed signs surely need the way they want it, and they don't really care sometimes how they get it. So please keep in mind to respect those around you, to look at their energy, and how do you want to be treated? Yeah, how would you want to be treated? Me, I just like to be treated like the diva I am. And of course, loving people in return, treating them like the kings and queens that I know they should be. Sometimes they get that, sometimes they don't. It just depends on how receptive they are. But here's what we can do: we can pray for our world, we can send light to our inner being, and you can join me by getting the free Mercury and Aries report and the free affirmation report. Now, I do one-on-ones. Come to a meditation class. Yeah, come to a meditation class. And I will be opening up an open house this month. But like I said, because we have a couple of holidays falling on the weekends, I'm going to work it out. I will be sending notices to all my database and I will put it up on some of my social media. Now, here's the beautiful part about being in my database: you get first dibs on a lot of stuff that I'm doing, because I'm going to send those out to you guys that's in my email database, because I want you to have the advantage. Okay. I want you to have the heads up because you guys are with me, right? And don't worry about sharing it. Share with people you know that need some support. Call somebody today you haven't spoken to a while and check in to see how they're doing. Like, just send some love out into the world. It's always good to have love coming back towards you. Aw, thank you so much, Holy Girl Global. She's making me cry. All right, so I'm gonna have to end this because I gotta go make some candles and then I gotta go pick up my kid. So let's end on a positive note. Necessity is the mother of invention. When you need to do something, go back to your basics of how do you want to do it? What do you want to spend on doing it? Which is the best way to do it? And just breathe for a second. And you know what? Because we have these smartphones, man, you could look stuff up in a couple of seconds and find out maybe options that you didn't consider. How about that? Now, remember, the candle of the month is the pink quartz candle. Check that out. It's the for moms. It's nothing but love. Okay. We do have the free Mercury and Aries report that's up at candlesbyari.com. We also have free affirmations. So definitely check that out as well. And join the meditation class, guys. Follow me, like me, give me feedback. Let's create a network of love and light that's so powerful that we could just think on each other and send nothing but love and rebuke all this other BS. Yeah, I'll do it if you do it. All right, guys. Stay blessed, and I will see you soon. Bye.